Let's first talk to you about stress in general, and I'm going to ask you another audience question. You're busy. You're going to the Bahamas tomorrow. You've got a whole list of things to do. It's your first vacation in 3 years. You really want to do it. And as you're driving and rushing around, your check engine light flashes on. Your initial reaction: you bawl like an underfed infant. You say, "Where's the nearest fast food restaurant? I need fried cheese." Do you calmly drive to the nearest auto repair shop, get them to fix it, and then just delay your schedule but keep checking everything off? Do you say, "Tomorrow the Bahamas, tomorrow the Bahamas, tomorrow the Bahamas"? Or do you curse car manufacturers and throw a hissy fit? Let's see how many. Well, actually, I'm going to go to someone over here and ask Breck, which would you do? So, Breck, which would you do?
I bet that I would first curse the car manufacturer and probably throw a hissy fit. Then I would drive to the nearest auto shop.
I'm not sure that's the answer we wanted to hear. How many would do E first? A few of you. How many would do D? Tomorrow the Bahamas, tomorrow the Bahamas, tomorrow the Bahamas. C, drive to the nearest auto shop and then calmly check it off. Well, you people are in control of your stress. If you do that, that's the right thing to do. How many of you will pummel your intestine with fried cheese? And how many of you will bawl like an underfed infant? Well, as we said, C is the correct, if you will, the best answer that one could do if you're in control of stress, and D is pretty good too. No one's told me what happens if you do E first, so I don't know how to say whether you're in control of stress or not. But what we have in our body is stem cells. But they're adults, right? They've been living at home all the time. It's like your 30-year-old kid came home and he's got or she's got the potential to do anything. Well, your adult stem cells have the potential to do anything, and that's why we call them progenitor cells. They can grow into anything. We used to think that our heart cells or our kidney cells were there once, and they didn't change. They were there forever. We knew our liver cells repaired themselves. But transplant surgery taught us that, in fact, many of our cells get repaired and replaced when they get damaged. Think of it. If you're a male, you have XY chromosomes. If you get a female heart transplant, that heart will be XX, right? But if you look at the biopsy of that heart, several weeks and years later, it gets what we call infiltrated, that is repaired by XY cells, your own progenitor cells. So you repair cells. That means you have the ability to repair almost any organ in your body by keeping your stem cells active. You have the ability to punch frailty right in the face. All stages of your life, what you want to do is keep your stem cells young because they keep repairing, if you will. Let's think of a skin burn. When you burn your skin, you sat out in the sun for 5 hours, you forgot to put on the suntan. Or you go to a tanning booth routinely and you get too much sun without, if you will, suntan lotion. What do? Well, your body repairs your skin, right? It keeps sending, in fact, stem cells. And if you keep burning that, or you burn your esophagus because you have gastric reflux, or you do other damage to your body repeatedly, what will happen? Well, your stem cells will start to work overtime. They will keep repairing things. And there are two unfortunate consequences of all that repair. The more stem cells you use, the less are available for other things. So you use your stem cells up needlessly by taking care of things that you didn't need to get fixed. And the other problem is, in fact, that you duplicate your cells. They have to duplicate more and more and faster and faster. And that means that there's more chance for an error. more chance for you having a missed DNA or a miscopied DNA. Now, if your stem cells are constantly repairing sunburn, they won't be available for you. And if we've used up too many of them, if we repair them too fast, we can get errors in the duplication process, and that can, in fact, lead to cancer. Add to that equation that as we age, we have less stem cells because they've been used up in other ways. Now, this I'm going to combine not only stem cell slowdown, but another major ager, short telomeres. They say, telo what? So I want you to learn two words today, and one of them is telomeres. Telomeres are like the ends of, if you will, shoelaces. So shoelace, consider this your DNA, and this telomere is the end. It has to bind together. Your telomeres have to be intact, and the longer your telomeres are, the more duplications you can have. But if you have frayed telomeres, if they look like this one, not only is it difficult to feed them into your shoes, not as important, obviously. By the way, do you know what these are called? These are called aglets. So if you're on a crossword puzzle, aglets are like the telomeres on your DNA. But in fact, you want these telomeres to be long and intact, not frayed, because that way you can keep making stem cells and keep repairing your body. Now, what causes the frayed telomere, and how do you keep your telomeres looking perfect like this shoelace? Well, that's what Mrs. Inside Out and Mr. Splitman, some people call him Mr. Split Personality, are going to teach us. Stress really starts where you feel it, but there's a key area here, and let me put on the purple glove because I want to show it to you as well as we can. And the area that I'm going to point out is the pituitary gland. It's part, if you will, of the hypothalamic pituitary axis that turns on your stress system. So it's located right here at the end of my fingertip. And this is the hypothalamus and the hypothalamic pituitary stalk. In fact, that's where stress emanates from. That's the mind-body connection. It's how you feel stress gets to your body. And after it goes there, it comes way over here, and on top of the kidney, you see this dunce-like cap structure, and that's your adrenal gland. That's the fight or flight gland, right? It secretes adrenaline. You feel like, we're moving away quickly. That's what it does. Or it also secretes cortisol. And your stress circuit is the interaction of that mind-body. And the hypothalamic pituitary axis is like a curious 2-year-old. It touches everything, causes your heart rate to get faster, causes gastric upset, causes you to be prepared to metabolize energy. It even decreases your ability to reproduce, because when you're stressed, you can't have kids, right? It's not good to have kids when you're stressed. In fact, some of the best ways we improve fertility, and what we do with infertile couples is we help them to relieve stress. And I'm going to show you another nerve here that's very important for that. I should have kept the blue glove on, the purple glove on, but that is your vagus. These are branches of the vagus. The vagus is the biggest nerve of the body. It wanders all around. That's what vagus means. And we can see it here as well. And this guy, it is right there coming up, and it's this big white trunk. And we're going to talk about how to train your vagus a little bit later. But training your vagus is key to managing your stress. In fact, it's the exact opposite of what all of us learn, right? Viva Las Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. What happens in your vagus goes to the rest of your body. It, in fact, is the paradox of that saying, because it's the way you calm your body down, and you, by learning how to do that, block stress. Now, one of the times we have most stress is when we're angry. It's about that guy who cut us off right as we were coming into the parking lot, or he took the space in front of us. Well, anger doesn't help anyone. Doesn't help you, doesn't help him, doesn't help the intern you bawl out, doesn't help the medical student you embarrass, doesn't help anyone. But there's a big difference, and by the way, there's a big difference between anger and hostility. Anger is saying, if you will, getting real mad at the person. Hostility is saying, I hope he hits the concrete barrier as he goes around. But while you may thinking lashing out at him, or as we say, flipping the hand at him, if you will, is a good way, it isn't a good way. You know, you're punching the pillow does not help you. It in fact increases your tension. It does exactly the opposite. And it eats away at you like ants eat away at crumbs. And if you're one of 16 million Americans who have anger problems, you can try these. Remember on Steinfeld, the time that George had the best day of his life? What was it? When he did the opposite, right? That's what you should do. Instead of lashing out at the person, feel empathetic. Maybe the person who cut you off is running to their wife who may be in labor, so you should be empathetic. Or maybe it's a woman who's trying to get to her mother who fell down and can't get out from under the table. So think about the other person. Do the opposite. The key is few people are jerks on purpose, so you should be empathetic. Another one is choose smart words. Don't use never or always. They make you feel good, but they do nothing for the person, and they do nothing to meld the barrier or to make things work out. All it does is humiliate people. The next thing is I like 3 techniques, and I'm going to move over here, and that's so the camera can see it, and these don't look real pretty on camera, so I'm going to warn you. But one of them is my favorite and the one I like to do. And it's called scrunching your face. You make every muscle in your face scrunch up, and then you release them slowly. So here it goes. And then over 15 seconds, release it slowly. And because you have to focus, you clear, and I'm no longer angry. Another one is called breathe in through your mouth and lick your lips beforehand. And sense the smooth or the coolness as you breathe in. We're going to talk a lot about deep breathing later. A third one is cork it. Now, I'm not going to say that you should empty the bottle first to get the cork, although that may work. And you know, they chose, this is public broadcasting, so they chose an inexpensive wine to have the cork of. But in fact, what you do, and by the way, if you can't get it in this way, you put it in this way and bite down on it. And that biting down on it relieves tension in the rest of your body. Another key is having friends. And that's why you're coming to this session with a friend, or turning or making a friend here, or having friends and talking about things. You know, when we get in trouble, women talk to other women, but men don't. They clam up. They don't tell their friend they're having problems at work. They sometimes don't even tell their spouse. So in fact, it's important for you to talk things through, because that's the way, that's the best way of relieving stress. And when you say work, 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 most people think of stress because the boss gives us a lot of stress. But in fact, work, 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 even in retirement, is a great thing because you have a passion for life. And if, I can't remember who said it, but if every day work is actually part of your passion, then you never will work a day in your life because it's always fun. For me, this is actually a lot of fun because I get to talk to you. Another two, remember, the first 4 causes of life stresses are monetary. Bankruptcy, being sued, having to take a new job or moving. Those 4 things that are financial are the leading cause of our stress. So be money smart. And then another one, if you can't get help, if you can't get around the stress, you've got pros. That's what people are for, who are psychologists and psychiatrists, to help you.